Hello, my name is Pedro Calzado, and in this video, I will be explaining what the human skeletal system is and describing its main functions. Everyone knows what the skeletal system is, right? Well, if you don't know, it's the body's framework of bones whose main function are to support, protect, and allow locomotion to be possible. Also, the skeletal system is responsible for blood cell production and storage. First of all, what are bones? Bones are the pieces of hard whitish tissue that make up the skeletal system. They are made mostly of collagen, which is a protein that is woven into a flexible framework. Bone also contains calcium phosphate and calcium carbonate, which add strength and harden the bone. The combination of all these materials contributes to bone's strength and flexibility. The adult skeletal system consists of 206 bones, as well as a network of tendons, ligaments, and cartilage that connects the bones to each other. Tendons are bands of connective tissue that connect them to muscle. Ligaments are also bands of connective tissue, but instead of connecting bone to muscle, they connect bone to bone. Cartilage is a firm connective tissue that is used in various areas of the skeletal system, such as at joints between bones or at the ends of the ribs. The skeletal system is broken down into two parts: the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton. The axial skeleton consists of 80 bones and is the central core of the body, housing and protecting its vital organs. Of the 80 bones in the axial skeleton, 29 are in the head, 25 are in the thorax, and 26 are in the vertebral column. The skull is included in this part of the skeletal system and is made up of 8 cranial bones that surround and protect the brain, and 14 facial bones that form the underlying structure of the face and support for the teeth. With the exception of the mandible, the bones of the skull articulate with each other with bones known as sutures. All around the skull, there are holes that serve as passageways for blood vessels and nerves. These are known as foramina. The bones of the skull also serve as attachment sites for muscles of the head and neck. The bones of the skull are as shown: parietal bone, sphenoid bone, temporal bone, occipital bone, mandible, frontal bone, lacrimal bone, nasal bone, zygomatic bone, maxillary bone, ethmoid bone, inferior turbinate, vomer, palatine bone. Also included in the axial skeleton is the rib cage, which is also known as the thoracic cage. It holds and protects many vital organs, including the heart and lungs. It provides a strong framework onto which the muscles of the shoulder girdle, chest, upper abdomen, and back can attach. The diaphragm is attached to its lower border. The bones of the rib cage are the sternum, the 12 thoracic vertebrae, and the 12 pairs of ribs. The rib cage is collectively made up of long, curved individual bones with a joint connections to the spinal vertebrae. At the chest, many rib bones connect to the sternum via costal cartilage, segments of hyaline cartilage that allow the rib cage to expand during respiration. Although fixed into place, these ribs do allow for some outward movement, and this helps stabilize the chest during inhalation and exhalation. The human rib cage is made up of 12 paired rib bones. Each are symmetrically paired on a right and left side. Of all 24 ribs, the first 7 pairs are often labeled as true. These bones are connected to the costal cartilage, while the 5 other false sets are not. 3 of those connect to non-costal cartilage, and 2 are deemed to be floating, which means they only connect to the spine. While there are some cases of minor anatomical variation, men and women generally have the same amount of ribs. Lastly, in the axial skeleton, there is the vertebral column, which is a series of rings of bones that surround the spinal cord, and its main function is to protect the spinal cord. It also serves as attachment points for the pectoral and pelvic girdles and many muscles. The appendicular skeleton consists of 126 bones, and it is the part of the skeleton that consists of bones that support the appendages. Of the 126 bones in the appendicular skeleton, 4 of the bones are in the pectoral girdle, 6 are in the arm, 54 in the hands, 2 bones are in the pelvis, 8 in the thigh, and 52 bones are in the feet. The appendicular skeleton is different to the axial skeleton in that the bones are unfused, which means that they have a greater range of motion, thus allowing one of the main functions of the human skeletal system possible, locomotion. The pectoral girdle is also known as the shoulder girdle and is a set of bones that connect the arms to the axial skeleton on each side. It consists of the clavicle and scapula. Each arm is made up of 3 bones: the humerus, the radius, and the ulna. Bones in the hand are divided into 3 regions: the carpal bones, metacarpal bones, and the phalanges. There are 8 carpal bones, 5 metacarpal bones, and 14 phalanges on each hand. The radius and ulna are also included in the bones of the hand. The pelvic girdle consists of 2 bones. These are the sacrum and the coccyx. There are 4 major bones per thigh and leg in a human skeletal system. These are the femur, tibia, fibula, and the patella. The feet are flexible structures of bones, joints, muscles, and soft tissues that let us stand upright and perform activities like walking, running, and jumping. The feet are divided into 3 sections: the forefoot, the midfoot, and the hindfoot. The forefoot contains the 5 phalanges and the 5 longer bones, the metatarsals. The midfoot is a pyramid-like collection of bones that form the arches of the feet. These include the 3 cuneiform bones, the cuboid bone, and the navicular bone. The hind foot forms the heel and ankle. The talus bone supports the leg bones, forming the ankle. The human foot has 26 bones, 33 joints, 107 ligaments, 19 muscles and tendons. As for blood cell production, the skeletal system accomplishes this task by use of bone marrow. Bone marrow is what produces all of the blood cells in a human body. The richest sources of bone marrow cells are in the spine and hip, though there are bone marrow cells in other places like the breastbone, skull, and even the ribs.